Hi, Gemini. Hold on 1 second. Sorry. Okay, I just needed to like kind of change the lighting a little bit. Let go of control issues, forgiving, and learning. So some of you need to let go of a need to control something that may have become an issue for you. You're forgiving, or you're trying to learn how to forgive someone. You might even be deceived, and it's your passions that are sort of like getting the best of you. I don't know why those cards just fell out like that, but I'm gonna start shuffling now. Um, when I was clearing out the energy of the cards from last night's reading of Virgo, I got the Six of Cups. This is talking about healing, and it's talking about healing from the past. But then this is also talking about where the reciprocity is in your life. It's kind of like looking in the past and then looking in the present to see what has happened, what has transpired, what has transformed, what has taken place, and seeing how you truly feel about what has taken place, right? You might be dealing with a Scorpio energy. You could be dealing with, this is Sun in Scorpio. You might even be dealing with a Virgo because this is the sixth house of, work, consistency, healthy habits, and, the rhythms that you set in place for yourself, right? Because you are everything that you create around you. So you're looking around you and you're seeing how things have changed and you're trying to align yourself with that. That part of you that has changed. And you're really seeing that you want, right? This is a great desire for change. So you might be feeling yourself like you want to see some change happen, Gemini. And it's kind of like you're really here for it. Queen of Wands at the bottom of the deck. Whatever this change is, it might be something radical or it just might be something small that really affects you in the long run. Down the line. That's what we're really looking at with that Six of Cups. Down the line, what's going on? Okay, right here, it's talking about getting past some adversity. There we go. There's the radical change. The Fool just came up as I'm splitting it. So that's Seven of Wands, and that Fool card is saying that, like, something is going to shift and it's going to help you move forward past the adversity that you've been, seeing, pushing through, presented with. It's like being in marshy, like in a swamp or something like that and trying to get through it. It's almost like you have to let go of some of the things or take some of the things off that you're wearing in that swamp, like the Fool is, and then you'll be able to free yourself out of that, that murkiness or whatever it is. The Temperance card is at the bottom of the deck talking about a spiritual alchemical change that might be happening for you. You're seeing how you have changed, like I said before with that Scorpio card. This energy is a progression from that, yeah? And then it's a 5, so it's related to that the fifth house of Leo, and also that energy of the Hierophant. Okay, so we're talking about consistency, or we're talking about changing something for good, right? Because there's a sense of permanency to the Hierophant, but then the challenge with that sense of permanency is that things are always going to change and evolve and regenerate. That's the fifth house of Leo, the sun, right? Things are always going to be, re-energized, regenerated. It's like, what are you doing? What are you beginning with? How are you starting? You might even feel like you're in the middle of the road, but you're at a starting point. You're at the end of a line, but you're in the middle of something, but you're also at the beginning of something as well. So you feel like you're probably being pulled in a lot of different directions, right? Because the sun's energy goes outward in all directions. So you might just be feeling like that. And when Gemini is feeling like it's in all directions, we really need to pull some things in, or it might even just be in your spirit. You know what I mean? What is your conscience telling you about what it is that you need to do here in this moment right now? What is the enlightenment that you're getting? What is the inner ear lesson here? Because you are thinking and you're realizing how you've changed, right? And you're realizing how things are actually going to change as you continue to move forward, because you can sense it. This energy is very complex with the Temperance card. So that's what you're dealing with, the complexities of life's, changes. And I do realize that I say right and a lot. Listening to myself. Five of Pentacles here. So you might be experiencing some kind of hardship in terms of a commitment, right, with someone that you might feel, secure with. Maybe you're feeling insecure about some things right now. It could be about, you know, what you have allowed yourself to kind of like be a part of, right? So you might be feeling, you know, alone, right, in your struggle. Or you might just be feeling like the challenge is wanting a situation to be ideal or wanting something to be idyllic, right? It's a 5, so it's talking about the severity of not being free to move. You know, you just feel like you don't feel the freedom here. Mercury wants to move in the sign of Taurus, but Taurus is saying no, it has to be like this. There is something is not changing that you feel like what needs to change here, right? It could be with money, it could be with an investment, it could be with a relationship, or it could be with like family. You know what I mean? Because the 5s are things that are institutionalized, right? And we adhere to whatever those teachings are, kind of, right? So it's kind of like, you know, I think I learned my lesson, and I feel like I want this change to occur, or maybe you just haven't figured it out yet, right? You're sort of like in the middle of this struggle with something. Okay, let's go ahead and lay the cards out. I don't want it to be too long. I usually try to go quickly with Gemini. All right. Yes, that's gonna be it. And if I feel like I want to pull some extra cards from the top of the deck to complete out that bottom row, then I'll do that. Let's start with the center. The center is the High Priestess. So Gemini, you might be dealing with a Pisces. You could be dealing with an Aquarius or a Libra or even a Taurus, okay? The High Priestess is talking about something that's being revealed to you from your subconscious, yeah? And it's something that you may have been anticipating, waiting for, or you may have felt before it actually really fully presented itself to you. It's talking about things that transpire, right, and achieving a sense of balance through the wait time of the transiency, right? And this is also what you kind of like aren't willing to like let go of. So this is kind of like you guys not letting go of something. The High Priest is almost like doesn't want to let go. It's that energy of like the Judgment card, right? Because the Judgment card is a 2 when you reduce it down. Pluto is the esoteric ruler of Pisces. So it really is talking about wanting to control something or wanting to let go of something, right? It's one or the other, yeah? So let's look at the challenge here. Okay, yeah. So you got a 2 over the High Priestess. So we really are talking about trying to control something. It's almost like communication is being controlled, time is being controlled. Or there's some elements of communication that's taking place here that is going to be meaningful for you and valuable for you. It's almost like someone is hearing you out or you're hearing someone else out. This could be, you know, some form of communication that comes from, you know, doing something about something. It's like you're investing in healing right now. You know, because it's Jupiter in Capricorn is talking about investing in something, right? Right? That to see the change happen. And then the High Priestess is investing in actually acknowledging your subconscious and what it is showing you and teaching you. Because there is something valuable there. Your emotions are, right? Okay, so let's look at your past position, 5 of Cups. So this is, you know, another severe card of emotion. So this is like a feeling of loss that happens from something that is destroyed or something that changes, right? That you probably didn't want to change. There's that control again. There's that desire. This is also like sexuality in a sense. So there could be something, you know, sex doesn't make everything better, you know, and you might be realizing that after the fact. It's kind of like, you know, you're realizing that you can't use some things as a crutch. Because that 5, all the 5s are talking about, you know, may possibly using something as a crutch, right? Or relying on something that you always cannot rely on, yeah? But, you know, who are you now? This also just refers to that Sun and Scorpio energy from the 6 of Cups. But this is in the past. Good, right? That's in the past. Now in the present, you are realizing what the past was showing you, what the past was teaching you, what's the valuable lesson, how are you changing from your past self? How have you changed from your past self? Where do you see yourself going in the future? This is revealing to you what you will see in the future and who you want to be then, okay? Let's look at the Sun position. Page of Cups. So yeah, you're dealing with some emotional struggles right now, Gemini. Sun, Moon, or Rising, or if you have Sun in the third house, you know, or you could even have Mercury in your first house, right? Communication very important, you know. And we're having a Mercury retrograde in Pisces right now, which squares you. You know what I mean? And if you are a Gemini rising, then Pisces is your 10th house. So you could be dealing with some things in terms of like career for some of you with work, you know. You might be feeling like, you know, your job is showing you some things that you don't really like, or you might be feeling like, you know, I don't feel like I can be my best self here in some kind of way, that type of thing. So you might be feeling a little bit emotionally complacent about that. The Page of Cups also is talking about something that is presenting itself to you and some emotions being stirred up that way. I feel like someone might even be leaving a job. Maybe like maybe like a friend might be leaving a job, or the person that you actually really liked in that job might be quitting and going to another job, that type of thing. So you might be feeling like you're kind of like you know, losing your friend at work. Okay, that could definitely be something with some of you guys, or some of you guys might even be feeling like you don't have a friend at work, right? And you could be going through that type of struggle where you're feeling alone, right, in the place that you're supposed to shine and be very you know, vital to the operational aspects, what's going on. So this is a person that is doing well, but they don't feel so great about what's happening inside of them subconsciously. Because look at how glamorously dressed they are. You know what I mean? It's saying like you can have it all, but there are still things that are going to affect you that your things won't be able to like fix. You know what I mean? So we really are talking about healing here in this Mercury retrograde season in Pisces. So here's the Pisces energy, and the 2 symbol is the Gemini, right? Which is talking about Mercury. You see that 2 right there? That squares Gemini. You see that 2 right there? Still dealing with that energy of Gemini and communication. What's being shown to you, what's being felt, right? What's being proven to you. Exactly. That type of thing, right? And the High Priestess and the 2 of Pentacles does talk about leaving one reality and going into the next, okay? And these 5s are talking about the reality right now that isn't working for you. So something has to change. Page of Rods in the Moon position. So the Moon is talking about a desire, right? The Moon wants to grow, it wants to expand, it wants to nurture, and it also wants to be creative. So I feel like some of you Geminis want a little bit more creative freedom, and that's why the Page of Rods is here. Yeah, this is also an announcement of some sort of like creative freedom or an opportunity that's going to come to you, because the Moon does speak of opportunity as well. And it talks about connections, right? Meaningful connections. So you could be having you know, something might happen in terms of someone presenting something to you, right? Um, that is going to change your reality. Yeah, and it's going to make you're going to want this, but then it's going to make you feel bad about whatever it is that's going to be affected by this change. Or it could be vice versa, like the friend that I'm talking about for some of you guys that you work with, right? Or the person that you feel like was your confidant at work. Something might happen with them, and then, you know, whatever. Let's look at your future placements. This is a future card, 4 of Cups, which is the Moon in Cancer, which is talking about nurturing. It is also talking about friendship, and it's talking about, you know, nurturing a friendship, but also nurturing the friendship that you have with yourself. You know, because the 4s are speaking of that Emperor energy and that individualized expression. So, you know, this is individualized emotional expression through realizing that you are your best friend. You are the most important person. You know, there isn't anyone that's going to come along and change or may have you deal with your emotions, right? It's kind of like you're going to have to realize what it is that you need to assert, that you need to change, that you need to start to identify with or start building yourself. You know, what are the foundations that these emotions are based on, and what are the emotional attachments that you have to something that might be making you feel stuck, right? You might be stuck in a place, okay? You're still connected to someone or something or some place emotionally. You have an emotional complacency, connection, codependency to something, right? And something needs to change there. You might even be still trying to make something be the same way that it always has been, but it's not working like that anymore. So you have to realize what has to change, right? A lot of back and forth here, okay? The Justice card, balance, equilibrium. A decision is going to be made. There's going to be some sort of justification for something, you know, and it is talking about friendships. It is talking about balancing things out. It also is just talking about being there for friends that might have experienced something heavy, right? A loss, right? Even death. Or it could be somebody that may have lost their job and they're just looking for some sort of like way to figure things out and make things better. They're looking for some compassion and for someone to help them. You know what I mean? Like that type of thing, right? Let's pick out some more cards for you. I have 3 more. I'm going to pick from the Runes Oracle. Get dry when I start talking, right? Also, wash your hands, guys. And gals. And y'all. Oh, wow. We saw that. Isa, this is intuition, right? This is Odin, right? Listen to your intuition. You know, this is also talking about cleansing. You got this card, Ice, that speaks of intuition with the High Priestess, you know? So this is just, you may be feeling a little bit of coldness, right? In some kind of way from someone, or you could be actually being the cold person here, you know? Let's look at the Romance Angels Oracle. Actually, I want to read this to you guys. Isa. Definitely listening to your subconscious and your intuition and your conscience. The rune is associated with thought and intuition, to the unexpected flashes of awareness that pierce through the veil of illusion and sometimes cause turmoil, both internal and external, right? That Pisces is internal and that Virgo is external. Odin holds a stick at the end of which shines a transparent stone, which can indeed be carved ice. This symbolizes the purity of truth. The literal meaning of Isa is ice, something cold, cutting, yet pure, transparent, and delicate. Courage and moral strength are needed to be able to sustain the truth unwaveringly. How do we use our intelligence? Are we hypercritical of others, or do we try to use thought to make progress? Do we fear the truth, or do we seek it out even if it might be upsetting? Isa protects us from overly harsh criticism, enhancing our critical thinking and self-esteem, right? So sometimes, Gemini, you like the Pisces energy that we have here that is displayed. It's kind of like reacting to things that need to change, right? Or that need to be adjusted, because it's kind of like that mutable energy. So you are seeing where some things need to change. And because they need to change, that means that there's a little bit of conflict there, right? And this 4 of Cups is talking about conflict and resolution. So you could be in an emotional conflict right now just because you might be feeling a sense of complacency, right, towards something. Could be a male person or female, it doesn't really matter. Could be a Cancer, right? Or some sort of water energy. But the resolution is actually seeing what you can do for yourself, you know, and not what others can do for you. Okay. Let me go ahead and finish the shuffle. And then I'm going to pull out this romance card. We're going to see what this is. Alright, I'm just going to do it this way. I can't believe I have to go teach after this. Here it is. Give your relationship a chance. Work on your partnership. Okay? I'm going to pull one more. That's for some of you guys. Alright. Divine timing is at work in your love life. Worth waiting for. So maybe you do have to give something a chance. For those of you that are in a position to give something a chance. Now, don't try to, like, dig in the ground and figure out what giving the relationship a chance is. If you're not in a relationship or you're not seeing anybody or anything like that, then, you know, it ain't for you. That's not your message. Okay? Maybe the next one is. And this is going to be the last one. This is from the Keepers of the Light deck by Kyle Gray. I don't know why I was going to say Sean. Does anybody out there know a Sean? What's going on with him? Why Sean? S-E-A-N, not Sean. Shit. Sorry. Same. Ah, love it. Freya. Phases and cycles. There is a beginning within every ending. Illusions are revealed and released. It just goes back to that card that I showed you at the beginning of the reading, which was Temperance, which I was saying you're coming from somewhere and you're in the middle of a place, but then you're also seeing where you're going. So it talks about phases and cycles. Something has to begin. You have to figure out like what it is about it that you want to change. You're going to have to go through that, right? Being in the middle, these are the fives that we're talking about. Realizing what's going to have to take place. Realizing the sense of authority that is going to have to shift into your vision, right? So that you can like push forward and be in that energy of like the sun, you know? Okay. Yes. Illusions are revealed and released, and that's that High Priestess card, right? Illusions revealed. Okay. So, you know, wherever you might have been being deceived or felt like you were being deceived because the deception card did sort of like come out, and that's something being revealed. There might have been something that you may have been ignoring just because you weren't aware of it, right? You had no sense to be aware of it because you were probably trusting something, and now you're realizing that you're like, okay, I see. All right, Gemini, thank you so much. I will talk to you guys later. Oh, that was good. 20 minutes. Like, share, and subscribe. Follow me on Instagram. It's Providence Tarot, and I am NYC Kendrick. The weeklies are up on IG and YouTube.